Hello there, and welcome to the Spies in the Skies Andor review for Season 2 for the very last time. Which is sad.
Sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
It may
Wait,
get resurrected. I don't know. Potentially, if we choose
Potentially.
to review Rogue One at any point, we may want to recall that. But, with that said,
hmm
welcome to the very last time episodes 10, 11, and 12 of Andor season 2.
Yes, sir.
How was your days today?
Mine was good. I had work until probably like 30 minutes ago. So, it was fun.
That
How about
sounds.
you?
Yeah, my day has been. Alright. Uh,
hmm
Definitely difficult day. You
yeah,
echo?
my day's gone pretty well. Um, I was working outside, and it was like the hottest day in quite a while, so that
Yeah.
was fun.
Yeah.
Like as hot as like Tatooine? Or
Not quite at
maybe.
Mustafar levels.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. That's good.
hmm hmm
Yeah, my. Have to take my door off of my PC because the
Mm.
fans are going high, so give some more airflow. Um,
I would do that, but I'm recording on a laptop, so no matter what I do, it's going to have poor airflow.
Mm.
Yeah, but
Same.
so let's go into the Diego Luna scale and talk about the rating of it for the last time from 1 to 10. So,
All right, cool.
who wants to go first?
I can go first. I'm going to give this arc a 9. I really liked it, and I really liked how it's blending in with the rest of the universe. There are just some things that I kind of wish we'd either seen more of or had been a little better explained.
Yeah,
hmm
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I am also going with a 9. I think the last arc was the best out of the
hmm
uh 4 years that they released. So how can I say, oh, this is a 10 when the last couple episodes were definitely better? So
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna go with an 8.5 because while I did like some things that they did, there was also like kind of like Echo said, some some I don't know, some places where they could have gone deeper
yeah.
into some things. But yeah, 8.5.
So with all the calculations and stuff, and let's bring up the count. We have an 8.83 as a whole. So this is the last time we see the faces of Diego Luna. Sad,
Wow.
sad.
Well, I mean, unless we do the Rebel or not the Rogue One review, we might bring that one back too.
But
That's
hey,
true.
would you
I think we
rather?
should do Jen though. Jen or so. I
Why
don't
not?
know.
Why
I
not
don't even know her
K2SOs?
actor's name.
Yeah, why not use K2SO?
K2.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
the star of the
it's a good
show.
one. Yes, sir.
Maybe
Speaking of
Director
K2,
Krennic.
that's true.
Yes.
We'll see.
We will see about
Of
that
course, we're
indeed.
still a few movies behind. Like we haven't even done the Clone Wars movies yet.
Yeah.
Wait, why did I plural that? There's only one. Anyways,
Yes.
Yeah.
Um So,
unfortunately.
favorite moment shot of the arc. I'll go first, and I think my favorite um moment was um probably the mo- uh Deidre's um the scene between Deidre and Director Krennic, and like his monologue and him like being this authority figure who's just all out.
Yeah,
So
and then the Death Star, boom. It was
yes.
like, oh, she knows. Yeah, that was pretty cool. It's a good
I gotta
one.
say, my favorite moment was probably um, when K2SO goes in to rescue Cassian and the other two,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the one guy's like, "Are you with us?" No. Shove him off the
Yeah,
bridge.
that part was really funny.
Yes.
I think, yeah, part was the one that made me laugh the most. So maybe that one. I also liked when they were switching back and forth with Clea and Luthen. Those scenes were, I like that as well.
Yes.
Flashbacks.
Hmm.
So, let's just go in discussing the rest of these episodes and the last couple months leading up to the Battle of Scarif in
Yeah,
Rogue One.
yeah. So the first episode, well, episode 10, first episode of the last arc is called Make It Stop. And it says Lonnie taps out, Dedra closes in, Luthen scrambles, and Clea delivers.
I think definitely this oh that this episode the first 10 was definitely Luthen and Clea's episode.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't know much about Clea before this.
Or
Even
Luthen.
Luthen, we didn't know
Yeah,
much
that's
too.
also true. Like, we knew their characters from the previous series, but as far as their actual stories, we didn't
We
know
know
anything.
nothing.
So, yeah, it was um,
And one of the
interesting.
ironic things from this one is um, if Dedra hadn't insisted on playing her little show the Star Path unit trick, then she probably could have taken Luthen in unharmed.
Yes.
But because she chose to kind of paint a
Yeah.
picture,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
mm-hmm.
Poor decisions.
Yes. Very.
Um,
all around.
yeah, so she confronts him in his basically. I thought that was interesting. If he was gonna kill himself, I don't know why he didn't just kill himself. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think part of that was just like turning her game into his. He knew what she was going to do. She
yeah,
didn't know what he was going to do.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the end of the previous arc. Because we see, obviously Bix leaves Andor with his new life, K2SO there
Now she
on Yavin. Yeah.
I I liked seeing what that house looked like afterwards. Like after Bix left, it definitely became like a um definitely like
Messier.
a college dorm.
Not that the three of us would have any experience knowing what a guy's college dorm would look like or anything.
Yeah, definitely not.
Definitely not.
No PTSD here. No. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think.
Oh, and an interesting factoid from that scene: someone made whoever designed the tiles that they were playing with made up an entire rule book for that game. So that game can actually be played.
No way.
I kind of want to
Mhm.
play that.
The little tiles, like,
I mean, it's just like Sabak. There are
yeah.
actual rules for Sabak, and there are actual card decks for Sabak.
Yeah,
Yes.
One of my friends,
Even
my roommate's friends, he had a Sabak set, and we played it. It was fun.
Star Wars celebration that happened couple month ago or something.
Mm.
Then there was an event that someone put on that was like a Sabah casino in one of the balls, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is
So
pretty cool.
it is.
Yeah.
Uh,
Don't gamble, kids.
yes, don't.
Or adults.
Facts.
Yes. Don't gamble your money on boats either.
On what?
Boats. Whether they sink or float.
anything. Anyways.
Don't
But
gamble grades either.
but yeah, I definitely the flashbacks and seeing um the progression of Luthen kind of and his change from this um soldier that um went AWOL and yeah.
So, yeah, Luthen was a mud trooper in that scene, like Han Solo when we first, not when we first meet him, but in when we first meet,
right.
like his older self in Solo, basically.
Yeah. Um
Mm-hmm.
I even as
As
and even like seeing young Clea, I seeing how she kind of like changed and kind of was like pushing Luthen to, hey, we need to put a stop to this. We've got to fight back.
And that kind of explains why she's been so loyal to Luthen
Yeah,
through everything.
definitely.
And how much and why he was willing to trust her with all the verbal activity and stuff that they were doing.
Yes.
yeah.
And I also liked seeing the seeing how Luthen was like, go to the hideout, I'll do the bone type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
thinking, hey, if something's gonna happen, I want to be there. I want to sacrifice myself so you can live.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
Episode 11. Who else knows?
I,
Cassian returns to Coruscant for one last extraction.
um. I think that's. It was an amazing episode seeing them leave, seeing like the tension in the ISB and like how underpowered and how spread thin they are.
and
Yes.
how
even
Yeah.
like overspreading on one thing can cause their entire organization to crumble enough to let people slip through.
and you can even see it in like how there's so many layers of like classification and stuff, and how no one actually knows the full story of what's going on unless you're the
Yeah.
emperor. So when it gets down to like a supervisor level or just some random sergeant,
Mm-hmm.
this is just a job for them. And yeah,
Yeah. And if it's just a job for them, then they don't. I don't know. They don't perform as well, I guess.
yeah.
Right. Oh, and in the when they're approaching the door, someone
Mm.
pointed out that it was actually kind of good that they saw Melshi first, because he was the only one not known to the ISB. Because the ISB would have known of Andor and would have known of Clea, but
Yeah.
not Melshi.
And I liked how Andor basically told Willem, "Stay here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we got this."
Yeah.
And another detail that I don't know if it was intended or not, but the way that Andor and Melshi both recovered quicker from the stun grenade, uh, someone on a YouTube video that I was watching commented that they thought it was from the repeated shockings from Narkina 5.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, makes
That's
sense.
actually an
I
interesting
mean,
point. Yeah,
well, what
because
we see
Clea
from Andor's
was.
POV makes it shows it to be a little different, more like an actual flashbang than an electrical shock.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that theory would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah. Yeah. That's some brutal stuff. the
Yes.
the electric floor and everything.
Hey, it keeps them in line. Literally, there's barely any guards.
Yeah. It's literally
And
just
also keeps them in a literal line on the bridges.
Yeah.
facts.
I I think that once like Andor got told the information, and just like to save Luthen or whoever sent out the distress signal,
Mm-hmm.
like Luthen, not Luthen, Andor was like, yeah, we gotta save Luthen. He's the reason behind this, and just everyone besides Mon was like, we don't think this is right. We don't think this information is true.
Mm-hmm.
After all, who had Luthen helped other than Mon and Andor? They were the only
Um,
ones who actually
Saw,
knew what Luthen helped. The others didn't know how much Luthen was actually behind.
but
Yeah.
that makes sense, and you can even see this in Rebels, and how it's towards being, yeah, there's a reason why we don't tell you about other sectors and other cells, because if
Yeah.
you get captured, you only know so much
Mm-hmm.
of this greater rebellion.
Yeah. I also think like we also see like Andor. He kind of like locks in with the rebellion and everything. Because before he was like, I'll do this and then we'll go with Bix. But now he's
Kind of
like,
doing it to save and protect his own hide.
yeah,
Whereas now, with Bix gone, what does he have to protect?
yeah, he's willing to
But I
basically
also
do anything for
like
them.
the comparison of like when Lonnie told Luthen about the Death Star project, how um, Lonnie got killed, and it was like, yeah, you're burnt, you're not reliable, you're toast,
Hmm.
and that's exactly what Andor did to his contact. on Kafrene.
Yeah.
Yep. Wait, who?
I forget his name.
In Rogue One, we
Oh, the
first
guy
meet
with the
Andor on
yeah.
Yeah.
Kafrene. Guy
And
has
then
a
he's
panic
like,
attack, and
yeah, what'd
he
you do? You know, I have one leg. It's the guy with the one leg, right? And he was like, I can't climb out, and then he
One
just kills
arm.
him.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I always feel bad for that guy. No, but that makes sense where you're going with that. That makes sense.
Feel bad for him. Lonnie had a wife and a kid.
Hey, that guy probably had
Hey,
5 kids.
Andor had a kid too, so
Spoilers for
Yes, he
episode
did.
12.
And yeah, in the final moments, we see Bix back on the farm planet.
yes.
With
Yeah. B2 playing with another robot, I guess.
Yeah, tag
Mhm.
yo it.
Yeah.
one more and I win.
I think that even like seeing Saw and Mon just bickering and fighting about how they are doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the downside of the compartmentalization that you talked about earlier with Hare and Sabine.
Yeah. And I think you do see that even in Rebels, how Saw was just like, you should have listened to me.
But should they have?
It's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Oh yeah. We also see. I think that's in the last episode. The Star Destroyer above Jeddah.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is it's there
The
in Rogue
last
One.
episode was
Saw
Jeddah
is also on
Kaiba
Jeddah.
also.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
everything. The last episode is kind of like the connector, I guess.
I
Getting into a bit of Star Wars vehicle lore, the fact that they made a Star Destroyer able to withstand a planet's gravity made the Victory class Star Destroyer useless, because the Victory was supposed to be the smaller class of Star Destroyer that could enter an atmosphere and would be used to land troops and whatnot. I know way too many random background facts.
just look at
Yeah.
your T-shirt.
Disney just decided to do that. Man,
I do
not surprising, but
I do think that as a whole, this season was definitely better than the last season
really?
1.
It's better than a whole bunch of Star Wars releases.
I think that Tony Gilroy did an amazing job, and he was even. I'll talk about it after a bit.
And I feel like the K2SO's final line, it's easier when you have a flight plan, is kind of a fourth wall break.
Yeah,
Because this series had a flight plan. They knew where they were coming from. They knew where they were going. They just had to figure out how to get there along the way.
yeah. I think
yeah,
it
that's true.
was nice seeing K2SO back and getting to see Alan Tudyk do more as K2SO, because he's an incredible actor in it, playing a character you don't see.
Mm-hmm.
You just hear his voice, but you like see his mannerisms in the character movement. So what else? What else? What else? Oh, when Andor went and like was telling the council this information about Jeddah, Kaibo, the energy project being fake and stuff. They were like, yeah, we funded this so much through the Senate and stuff, and you can see how like the slow descent of in A New Hope how Palpatine got rid of the Senate as more and more senators spoke out too.
Yeah.
Plus, he didn't really need it anymore because he was just using the Senate to control the planets.
Yes.
But once he had the Death Star and he was able to use the Tarkin Doctrine, then there would be no use for a Senate other than
Right.
just as a thorn to slow him down.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
As well as using moths to control everything, and governors and more imperial command through like the military.
Right.
So Governor Price and Grand Moff Tolkien, Moff Gideon, they were rulers of different areas instead of senators. So
Yeah. Just like a transition
but
between an empire.
what I've heard, I watching some other episodes and stuff, Tony Gilroy thanked Kathleen Kennedy. It was Kathleen Kennedy who was kind of behind this and greenlit Andor, and I heard that she was on set a lot of times. Despite the negative PR that Kathleen Kennedy gets around the different projects, I still think she's an incredible producer.
Yeah.
She's the main reason we got the prequels of Star Wars through Jurassic Park. So
Yeah.
Yeah, like with every person, there's good, there's bad, there's bound to be stuff that we don't like.
Even George Lucas,
Yep.
the fans were so against George Lucas with the prequels and Jar Jar and everything. But now he's praised, and
Jar Jar is amazing.
and everything just gets better as time sits on it.
Yeah, once we see what's worse, we can see what's better.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think this might be a good spot to end this review. So, any other comments?
None here.
Nope.
With that said, please make sure to like, subscribe, join our Discord, and be part of the conversation. It's free. It's not behind a paywall, and like other podcasts where you have to join a Patreon. We want you to be part of the conversation for free. But check our merch store out. Help us that way.
And even if you don't want to join our Discord, feel free to comment an opinion below.
It's also true.
With that said,
May the force be with you.
Be with you.